to do the magic. Let's do. Yes, here we are.
Oh, yes, I see.
Let me do some magic. We need to do the magic before going live. So exit full screen. Let's refresh the screen. Let's do the zoom. Let me put the volume. No. Let's do the full screen. Yes. Let me check if we are live on X. Just guys, few seconds and we are gonna go live with Marco. Let's see if everything is okay, if the volume is okay.
I think it's live. Yeah.
I think it's live. Let me check. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Hello. We are live. Here we are with another episode of Bitcoin Treasury Company Report number 15, the Sweet 15. We are becoming almost adults in this segment. And here I am again today, the two OGs, not the four horsemen, not the three, but here I am again with Marco Battistoshi. Marco, how are you doing?
Fernando, I'm doing great, thank you. And yes, we have a lot of things to discuss today. So
we
have a lot of
things to discuss, and the first one that I want to discuss is something that we were talking about last week, and I was talking about that many times. That was what happened if a company probably is not reaching their Bitcoin target, price are going down, MNAV is going down, and appears another company that wants to buy. And of course, not only buy the company, but the most important, buy the Bitcoin. Another way to accumulate Bitcoin to keep these promises that you said that were very difficult in case of Nakamoto to reach a certain amount of Bitcoin, because we all know that there is only 21 million, but probably buying companies is another way to buy Bitcoin. And today, this week we had a merge, Marco.
Yeah, I think I can share the screen and then we discuss on this topic. I think most people are aware of what happened on X. So yeah, as you said, I mean, you have been prophetic on that side.
No. First of all, I'm not being prophetic. I always say we, our team. And to be honest, I'm very happy because we spoke about the bubble thing probably 3 months ago, predicting what was not predicting, but talking about this problem of the treasury companies doing massive calls of accumulating Bitcoin that can trigger a problem and happen with Nakamoto. Now we've been talking about that, about the companies buying other companies and happen. So I suggest to the people, follow our show, follow Marco on X, and stay tuned because it shows that we are doing our correct job. So that makes me happy.
Yeah, and sometimes also against the normal main idea. When everyone is euphoric, you need to not be maybe, and when everyone is depressed, you might have a different opinion. So yeah, I think we got those things pretty right, pretty accurate. On this one, I wasn't expecting it. Maybe I was envisioning in the future some company doing similar things and doing M&A, but not so quickly. So kudos to you and your team. So yes, so Strive they proposed to do an acquisition of Semler Scientific. So as we know, Semler was already one of the first Bitcoin equity adding Bitcoin to their own balance sheet. They had around 5,200 BTC, I think, as of today. So Semler did this M&A, merging together, not only because of the Bitcoin, mainly because of the Bitcoin and having this higher size without impacting the market, buying on the spot market, but also because Strive, with the background of the founder Vivek Ramaswamy and the other on the boarding team, it could see some synergies also with Semler core business, which is on the biotech. in developing new drugs, etc. So they saw also synergy on that side. They had a lot of Bitcoin and they were trading below 1 in the MNAV. So all things considered, I think it was a good acquisition for Strive. I think it was also a good acquisition for, Semler, because I guess recently with their case, they need to settle around 30 million with the Department of Justice because of something that happened in 2018, I think. So it's a lot of money to go out. The stock was a bit underwater. So I think all things considered is a good deal for both sides. Then the only thing that I was skeptical, and it's already kind of playing out, is the premium. So they announced a 210% premium, equivalent to basically having to acquire the Semler, Semler as $90 per share. Today, the company is trading at 30 or 32, something like this. Mm-hmm. So, it was kind of overpriced, way overpriced. The point is that even Strive, probably the stock is overvalued. So with this mechanism, they try to balance it out in order to, have this countermeasure. If Strive goes too low in the next maybe few weeks, they can compensate by the fact that Semler was, overpriced, and because they will exchange 1 share of Semler for 21 share of Strive. So that's more or less the idea. If Strive goes around 2, the premium is cut in half. If Strive goes to 1, this premium goes to 0. So it's also a factor now for existing shareholder base of Semler to see what's happening on Strive. And then, we need to watch it closely and see what will be the effect valuation once the deal is closed.
Excellent. Yes, and also one of the things that was concerning and was checking is I think that they are also change the main business of Semler, something like that. I heard about that triggers some skepticism for the future of the company, because you're gonna change. It's a biotech company. How it's gonna keep running? That was something that I heard about that.
I think for sure they will reorganize something. So when you have this M&A, probably they will maybe centralize the components of the biotech from Semler under a different umbrella within the Strive ecosystem, and then they will just take the Bitcoin and they unify the two treasuries between Strive and Semler in order to have around 11,000, I think. Yes, combining they would own 10,900 BTC. And then I think with this capital, their idea is to go directly on the preferred offerings. So try to go full sailor strategy on that side, leveraging these two, the balance sheet that now they are combining the Bitcoin. So for sure they will do some changes, but I think it's normal when we go with this M&A. Something is gonna be the same, something is gonna be cut out, something needs to change, and then reorganize within the group. So, but yeah, I think it's a cool thing. And then we need to see if in the future maybe other companies will follow the Strive approach, or Strive will do more acquisition. So,
do you think that this can happen in the future? Because for me, it's no doubt that this will happen. It's like, I think that companies will eat each other. And as I envision that we are gonna be pure Bitcoin treasury companies are gonna be probably less than 10 in all the world. They will be buying others and taking advantage of this jurisdictional thing. That's what my ambition.
Yeah, my idea was maybe to take more time, and I was pretty sure about not strategy doing so, but on other companies it could be an accelerated topics, especially right now. If those small medium cap cannot go higher than 1 in their multiple, maybe it's 0.8, 0.75, and then you see some synergies, for example, like Strive saw with Semler. Yeah, it's possible. So maybe also Metaplanet could do something similar in another in some other jurisdiction or with some other industry. It's possible, and so yeah, cool time ahead.
Yes, cool time ahead. Yes, and also you mentioned that strategy. You think that the strategy is not gonna do that, but today I was on X and I saw a video of Sailor saying that he wants to have 1.5 million Bitcoin, and this triggers some alarm on me because you always say.
Who said this?
I saw a video on X that he was talking on the CNBC or something like that.
Okay.
And it triggers some alarm on me because you always said that Saylor is like the most prudential of all the CEOs because they always say we are raising X amount of capital and not we are going to buy X amount of Bitcoin. But now he said he wants to have 1.5 million. What do you think about that?
I mean, to be honest, I didn't listen to this news. So, I mean, if he said this, it's, maybe maybe he's convinced that he can increase even more the capital raise from the preferred instruments. I don't like it much if you have a BTC target in mind. I'm stressing this point. If you have a USD target in mind, I'm kind of fine with that. But a BTC target, it's very difficult to get it. So I think better not to stress this point and just announce maybe another 20 billion plan. Much easier to target.
I think that Saylor has a target in mind. That is, for me, is 1 million. He wants to have. I think
for sure. Yeah, for sure. The
one.
I think yes.
Strategy wants to reach this Nakamoto value, and of course he doesn't. It's not public on that many times. So I think that this is the way. And talking about Nakamoto, what do you think is going to happen with them? Because the stock price is not going up, and the numbers.
It nuked to 1 point something. Because again, people are too much focused only on the share price. Price. Of course, it's one of the most key important metric if you're an investor, if you want to understand the business, etc. But again, I think Nakamoto can be success. It will be successful. But again, if you bought Nakamoto at $32, you probably think it's a total scam, no? So I think they will be successful. They have very good, capital partner behind them. They have most of, the influential people behind it. And we also need to acknowledge that those kind of new strategy needs time to develop.
Yeah. I always say the same.
Yeah, it needs time to develop. So if we just see the price, of course, it's the worst probably Treasury in the space because it went up and then down 97%, something like this, with big scale, not only, big scale. So it was very public. David Bailey and the other were, very pushing this narrative. So it was pretty bad for the industry, I think. Then Nakamoto was behind Metaplanet, so it was even worse maybe for some other companies not fully related to Nakamoto, but still with some links. So I think it nuked the mood, it nuked the sentiment. So specifically, I don't have much to add on Nakamoto because I'm not following them closely, so I cannot give any specificity. Yeah.
Of course, yes. And next topic is there is a new player in Brazil, in our neighbor country.
Yes, I think now you have now this company, Orange BTC, is the largest holder of Bitcoin in South America. They just passed by Melius, that was the other one pretty active in Brazil, because now they have 3,650 BTC. And what was funny, I saw who's behind this company, and look here. So backing the venture are high-profile crypto investors, including Cameron and Tyler Winklevoss, so the Winklevoss brothers from Gemini. Again, Bitcoin pioneer Adam Beck. I don't know. It's like Adam is behind every treasury. He also is behind now a new one in the UK. Odell is behind H100 group in Sweden. Is behind the Planet, Capital B, probably Strategy, maybe also the Smart Web company.
Mm-hmm.
And also Mexican billionaire Ricardo Salinas.
Interesting. Well, Ricardo Salinas, I think that he's the guy who was. There is a good speech that a Mexican billionaire, I think that is him, talking about crap against the governments, crap around against the central banks, and if he said he would put all his wealth on Bitcoin.
Yeah, it's a very cool guy. I mean, I sometimes I also see some video of him. I would say similar to Michael Saylor in the mindset. Both are billionaires. Both have been super wealthy, super successful in their own, industry. I mean, Saylor did his own company. I think Salinas took over the business from his family. But again, he's very vocal against, the monetary debasement, the scam of fiat money, the central bank issues, and I think most of his wealth is in Bitcoin. So when I saw these names behind this company, I mean, it's very high-profile names. So yeah, it's interesting because we see new company coming up now. These 3,600 Bitcoin, it's a lot. It's like top 20 company on the world for Bitcoin holding. So yeah, pretty.
They appear out of nowhere and they become the largest publicly traded Bitcoin treasury company in Brazil. The other day I crossed some words with the CEO of this company, and we are probably, I don't want to make promises, but we will be having him for sure October, November. We will be having him soon on our stream, so to talk about that. And for me, as a Latin American, as an Argentinian, I don't want to misinterpret it. I want an Argentinian firm to be the top one in Latin America holding Bitcoin.
You had Mercado Libre, no?
We have Mercado Libre, that is a unicorn, but I think that for Argentina and all the rest of the countries of Latin America, it's not going to be easy, because that's why the Mexican billionaire, I think, is investing. It's not going to be easy for Argentina and the other countries because of the economical situation and the political situation. Argentina has more problems than Bitcoins and all this stuff. Yeah. But the good move is when Brazil is always the engine of Latin America economy. So when we always say that when Brazil sneezes, all the rest of Latin America has the flu. So on the other side, if Brazil does a good move like this, some company from Brazil, it will lead other Latin America companies to at least try to copy the model, at least try to understand the model, and put focus on study this. Mercado Libre has some Bitcoin on the balance sheet, but it's not a treasury company. I think that this is the only Argentinian company that can do a Bitcoin treasury company. But the founder is focusing on other thing. He's focusing fighting against the people who don't support our current government. So fighting on X. So, but again, I think that this is a great move for Latin America and emerging markets, because Brazil, that is, I think, the sixth economy in the world, the 6th or 7th economy in the world, huge economy in Latin America, and a little move in Brazil can trigger a lot of moves in Latin America. And again, we need more of these companies to take a Bitcoin as a strategic reserve so they can put Bitcoin more mainstream. So I want to talk with the founder, with the CEO soon to see what happens. The other day I had in the show, we spoke in Spanish with Bruno. He's the CEO of Clever Wallet, non-custodial wallet for Bitcoin, a Brazilian company. And he was telling me that he doesn't know these moves, but Brazil is very, very friendly now for Bitcoin and crypto. There are some banks that have in the board Bitcoin advisors and all this stuff. So it's very interesting what is happening.
And if I'm not mistaken, I think this bank that you mentioned in Brazil that open, Bitcoin related services, and maybe they also have some Bitcoin in their own balance sheet. I think, if I'm not mistaken, they are also in the Berkshire Hathaway portfolio.
I think so. I'm not to be
It's like
honest.
0.001 allocation, but it's also on them.
Yeah.
So yeah, for sure, it's a good
To
move.
be honest, I was talking with him the other day, and although he didn't know in detail what happened with these companies, he said that Brazil is becoming super friendly, because the good thing that I didn't understand is that they have a really independent banking system from the government. So we can see that now Brazil has a left wing politician, the president, that is Lula. But on the other side, they try to do support market. They are
Separate
like
the two things. Try to keep it separate.
what I think, what I see in Brazil movements, probably they are doing some, I don't want to say communists, because they are not communists, but they're left wing, but copying what China does. The China is communism, but with markets. So, it's more. I was discussing the other day. Mainland China is more capitalist than Hong Kong. That even Hong Kong. That technically Hong Kong is one of the paradise of the capitalism and free markets and all the innovation. I was telling you yesterday, I went to a boat trip. 90% of the people work in finance, and I'm not telling that they were not the teller of the. They had huge position. They were traders, analysts, and nobody of them know about Bitcoin. I was a crazy one.
Yeah, that's still in 2025. Yeah, we are the crazy one. Yeah, I agree.
But I have this ready.
I told you
to show to the people that we are telling you so. You think that we are stupid? Okay, let's see who laugh at the end. But talking about the Brazil thing, I think it's a very, very good, really, really good news for Latin America and emerging markets. If one or more companies, also in Brazil, they are talking about putting a strategic Bitcoin reserve with 5% of their US dollar reserve. So again, I like all these moves coming from Brazil. Brazilians, take the advantage on Bitcoin. We are gonna keep holding the World Cup for football, but I don't care if Brazil. To be honest, it's a great news that Brazil and companies from Brazil are adopting Bitcoin treasury strategy, because it will be good for all the emerging markets to follow them.
Yeah, I agree. And still keep discussing about this in the adoption, new entrants in the market. Maybe we can move on the next topic, which is Vanguard. So maybe here. So yes, finally, also Vanguard, that we know it's like in the US you have these giants of traditional finance, of investing, and of course we have BlackRock. And we already know BlackRock entered as a first actor in the ETF space. The launch of IBIT has been the most successful ETF launch in history. They had like 80 billion asset under management in just 18 months. It has been one of the best performing vehicle ever created, fastest growing. So, I mean, Bitcoin is not going anywhere. Bitcoin is a legitimate asset class, etc. So now even Vanguard, which they were the anti, Bitcoin, very opposite.
I remember that they didn't let their clients buy ETFs.
Yeah.
Similar what the suckers of HSBC do here in Hong Kong. We cannot even buy the Hong Kong ETF, but anyways.
Yeah, so I think the CEO also got fired in the past. Maybe for other reason, I don't know. Maybe for sure not specifically to Bitcoin. I mean, it's still a tiny aspect for those companies, but still he got fired. Maybe there was a new change, and they see, look, IBIT is the best performing vehicle. Bitcoin is one of the best asset ever. It's dumb not to studying. It's dumb not to open even for our clients.
Can I make you a correction? It's not one. It's the best. The best.
So yeah, it would be stupid not to. So also Vanguard is entering the game. So probably they will list an ETF on Bitcoin soon. And then, of course, you have, I don't know, $8 trillion under management for them. Imagine that just 1% is interested to Bitcoin. It's an additional, I don't know, 80 billion. It's an additional 80 billion. Of course, maybe I'm overshooting it, but even if it's 0.1%, is a lot of money, new money that can simply, with a couple of clicks, move from SPX to the new Bitcoin ETF from Vanguard, or change, I don't know, another index into this one. So I think it's a big news.
Yes, of course. All news that talk about the Bitcoin adoption are good news, even though we are Marxists and we don't like the dirty hands of Wall Street touching our precious Bitcoin. But again, Bitcoin is permissionless. It's permissionless, and all this make Bitcoin even more mainstream. That's what we need. That's what we need. So, anything else we have to discuss?
I mean, we can discuss a lot of things. I mean, on X, the last weeks has been pretty depressed and toxic. So
yeah, I want to talk about that. I want to talk why people is with FUD. Because today I checked the Fear and Greed Index and it's on 37. And for me, I will stop calling it Fear and Greed Index. I will call the Ignorance Index. Because how come be in fear when you have a lot of indicators that are showing that Bitcoin is strong and Bitcoin is about to go up? That's the point. And we have a couple of indicators. My theory of that, and I continue saying that theory, is that most of the people who entered last year, not the ones like us that we have a couple of real bear market under our skin, so we suffer the pain of the bear market. I think that many people that came last year, they were all expecting now Bitcoin at probably 500K, strategy at 600, 700 US dollars per
company on the
short. So they were expecting that. And I think these people are disappointed. So that's why the fear, that's what I explain the fear. So, and I've been researching a couple of things related to some things that can trigger this, let's say, deceleration of the Bitcoin price and on the Bitcoin Treasury company's stock. And because last week the stock price dropped, even though we have the tax, the rate cuts and all these things, and people like still in fear and says, okay. But I was checking a couple of things that I talk about that in my episode in Spanish when I talk alone. So we need to check a couple of things that, again, if you see this indicator, these macro indicators, you don't have any reason to be in fear. You need to be extremely greedy. So the first indicator is M2. M2 is all-time high. Is growing around the US M2 is growing between 4 and 5% year to year. And every one of us know what happened when M2 goes up with Bitcoin and with the stock markets. The second indicator that I was checking today is the DXY, that is the index that measures the strength of US dollars against euro, yen, British pound, Canadian dollars, Swedish crown, and Swiss franc. This index is around 98. It means that it is below 100. Dollar is not strong, and it's in a downtrend, like let's say 2%. And this index is has an inverse correlation with Bitcoin. If the index is down, Bitcoin is up, and vice versa. So this index is down. Another thing that I was checking the other day in a video is the TGA. See, the TGA, that is the Treasury General Account, that can be reducing the money liquidity. The TGA, for the people who doesn't know, is a savings account of the US government the U.S. Treasury, that they say, okay, they put a, I don't know how to say, they put a target that now is 850 billion, and they accumulate money in this account until they reach this 850 billion that are going to be spent in the next month. To talk in a probably in normal people words is, you are saving for a holiday. You say, okay, you are going holiday and you are going to save, you need to save $2,000 US, and you separate from your salary every month until you get this covered, and then you come back to your regular spend, and then this $2,000 you spend it. So United States, what is happening is getting money out of this of circulation until get this 850 billion US dollars. Now we are in around 810, so we are close to cover this. And of course, these funds are going to be spent in the next months. So liquidity is going to go up. And when liquidity goes up, then Bitcoin and the stock market goes up. And also, we have that they will switch from, now we are in the QT, quantitative tightening, and they are going to come back to QE, quantitative easing. That it means print money as if there is no tomorrow. Why? Because their job reports in United States are getting worse. And if we remember, the objectives of the Fed is they have to have a huge amount of jobs and not huge inflation. And this year, they removed the inflation target. They will say, okay, we don't have to have huge inflation, but the 2% target is not working anymore. So if it's 2, 3, 4, whatever, it's not working anymore. And the other thing that I was checking, and let me share the screen.
So Fernando, you're bullish.
Of course, every day. I'm super bullish.
No, me too.
So if there is for any person that don't believe that I'm bullish, I'm super bullish. So this graphic is the speed of the velocity of money. How does the money circulate? And what I discovered is that when the circulation is like now, that we have the speed of money like probably constant. If the M2 goes up, of course, if there are more money, more liquidity on the market, Bitcoin and the stock markets increase the demand. And if we increase the demand, we know what happens with the price. Yep. So, and the magic thing is that now we are since probably Q3 2024 or even before.
Yeah, it's more than 1 year that is flat.
Yeah, it's flat. And it correlates with price of Bitcoin goes up. Here was almost flat between 2020 and 21. Then start going up, and we know what happened. So this indicator that I discovered, and I was researching a little bit, also shows that the speed of money is flat and M2 is going up. So it means would increase Bitcoin demand. And of course, if Bitcoin demand increase the prices, and the prices of the Bitcoin treasury companies are going to be increased as well. So I'm bullish, and not because I think that I am bullish. There are a lot of things that shows that give us a fundament to be bullish. That's the point.
I mean, yeah, great point. I think overall it's what you said. I agree on all of this. Maybe just to clarify a couple of points that you said when you started. So the DXY, now it's around 98. It was 100 and something like before Trump the administration. I did a study like a few months ago indicating that normally with Trump, the dollar is getting weakened by a lot. The previous time was very similar. We were around 100 and then it dropped, and then it keeps dropping even in the second part of the first administration, because for them, a weak dollar is better because the stock price goes almost naturally up. So you can say, look, the stock market is strong, the economy is roaring because fundamentally you devalue the dollar. So the DXY I expect to keep going down. So now it's finding a plateau around 98. I think last time it went almost to 90. So we have still, for me, a lot of room ahead to go lower. And, for them will be very good because they will attract foreign investment in the US. So I'm pretty sure on this. So weak dollar, it's better for risk on assets and it's amazing for Bitcoin. So it's great. Then for the liquidity, I agree. I think we got somehow. I don't think we still are in a quantitative tightening. I think we already moved into a neutral, but now probably between Q4 and Q1 they will ease, so reducing the interest rate, and then probably with the new Fed chair that will be very close to the administration, probably they will start the quantitative easing because the Fed can manipulate the money supply with the interest rate, but still not purchasing bonds, not purchasing other stuff. So you can still have easing cycle, but not a quantitative easing. I think in the next year we will see probably both. So reducing interest rate plus quantitative easing. So that's why for me we will see a more a more elongated cycle, because again we didn't have in place all the catalysts to be fully green, you see. And then on top, for me, the most important indicator also to add to yours, which are great, to me is gold. Every time gold is doing a massive run up, at some point it will slow down. And by slow down, I mean that the extra profit will rotate. In the past, during the great financial crisis, gold moved from 2008 to 2011, plus 170%, insane move. And then for the next 5 to 6 years, the S&P got crazy. Why? Because the liquidity went up again, and all the extra profit from gold and other, risk-off asset rotated back to risk-on assets. In 2011, we know Bitcoin was small. Now it's no longer small. I think it will be the first beneficiary of this rotation. So again, all data is pointing to me that the 4-year cycle to be, strict November must end. It's stupid. For me, it's not the case. I'm expecting to be much more in Q1, maybe even Q2, depending on what will unfold. And then, of course, depending on how much we move, there will be a bear market, sure. But 80% today, for me, it makes no sense.
Yes, and plus we need to add that since May 9th, 2025, all the days Bitcoin closed over 100K. So
that's a big achievement. Yes, true.
So, and we just crossed 100K less than 1 year ago. Remember, we crossed 100K in December 4th, 2024. So we need to put this in consideration, and we don't have to ask Bitcoin more than what it's doing. We need to enjoy the ride. We need to do DCA if we can, and chill. And to be honest, that's what I see. That's why I'm super bullish.
Yeah, no, I agree. And I mean, now it's not charging. Wait, yeah. I mean, year to date, Bitcoin is up 17%. 1 year is up 66%.
Okay, yeah, but that's the point. So
yeah, I think it's okay. 1 month, it's zero. Oh my God, it's a tragedy. But
yes, no. But the point is that Bitcoin is neutral in September, when September is historically the worst month for Bitcoin. Yeah. The average returns for Bitcoin on September is -3%, and we are neutral. So come on, guys.
Yeah. I think this kind of monthly seasonality or seasonality in general could still be relevant, but I think they are much less relevant after 2024, after February 2024, after November 2024 than in the past. The size is 100 times bigger. You have players all over the place. You have options. I think now it's more important to see maybe the option on IBIT, the option on strategy, the option to understand the future market behavior. rather than, you know, the thing that we used to look in 2018, 2020, because now the market is totally different.
Yes.
That's why I'm strongly believe that if people will sell just because of 3 statistical, you know, events in the past, they are not really paying attention, because all the points are saying the cycle is now flattening, and then it's waiting for the next you know, leg, potentially, I think, up, because of what we discussed before. So
yes, I think so. I think so. It's gonna be up. But as we always say, this is not financial advice. We are just two guys on the internet talking about Bitcoin, are our own visions. And even though if all the indicators show that Bitcoin is gonna go up, it can fail because we don't have the crystal ball.
yeah, especially in the short term. In the short term,
Especially
like
in the short term.
3 to 6 months, everything we said can be the opposite, but still in 1 year or 2 year, directionally we might be correct. So again, don't be the trader of you know, trying to time the market. Just buy Bitcoin and studying it, and take it for some years at least. If you just stay for 3 months, okay, what we can say can be completely put in the trash can, but it's not investing, it's just speculation. So yeah.
Yes, of course. It's better. You don't have to time the market. It's not to time the market. It's to have time in the market. So if you stay in the market, you're gonna win. But again, as I said, no financial advice. So before going out, I let me read something. Do some. I'm my friend Mike Jarmus from Lightning Ventures sent me a message yesterday, and I saw today. There is a Cypher Tank, the first Bitcoin-focused pitch competition of its kind, is coming to Lugano during the Plan B Forum. 11 standout projects, 8 for-profit and 3 non-profit, will be invited to showcase breakthrough ideas across on-chain Bitcoin tech, Lightning, peer-to-peer innovation, emerging markets, human rights science, and the Lugano Bitcoin Citadel. Backed by the Plan B network and the Plan B VC fund, finalists will compete for over 850,000 in BTC investments, grants, and acceleration support, while pitching directly to world-class Bitcoin investors and builders. By the way, the judges are going to be Adam Back, Paolo Arduino, it's going to be Preston Peach, Mike Jarmus, and other top people in the Bitcoin space. Filmed in Lugano and distributed globally at the end of 2025, Cypher Tank will spotlight the next wave of Bitcoin pioneers. 450,000 in BTC investments, 200,000 in relocation, incubator, and acceleration support in Lugano, 200,000 in non-profit grants by Plan B Foundation. So I will let the link to apply in the description. Otherwise, you can contact us. You can send me a message, and I will be pleased to give you the link so you can apply for this competition. And also, you can have it in our newsletter, croxroad.co. Subscribe to our newsletter, and you will be receiving all this information. So that's all for today, Marco. Anything else to add?
No, it's just to mention what you just said. It seems to be a very cool initiatives, and with great Bitcoiner on the panel, and potentially receiving grants based on Bitcoin. So I think it's cool. I cannot join this year on Lugano. Probably I hope to be there in the next one. But I think it's one of the best in Europe. So I mean, it will be a nice event overall. So for everyone that is going there, they will enjoy the event and what you just mentioned about this initiative.
Yes, I'm sure. I'm trying to bring Giacomo Succo to speak in our stream, especially about that. And then I will want to bring him to have a good conversation, because he's a very, very good Bitcoiner. But I'm trying to bring him this week at least to have half an hour stream to explain about this, because I think it's very interesting for Bitcoin. So Marco, what is your social media?
Just on X, Battistoshi93, and then we open with also Andrea Escape Velocity podcast. So if you go on my Twitter page, you can find it. So if you want to follow also the podcast, we do weekly updates and yes. So Battistoshi93, the handle. Yeah, sorry, Fernando. Yeah.
Battistoshi93, please go and follow Marco because he drops a lot of knowledge bombs about Bitcoin, about treasury companies. He puts all his experience in knowledge. Again, so you can understand, you can study, and you don't follow this stupid index of ignorance that is the feed and greed. If you study Bitcoin, if you understand it, there is no way to be 37, the index today. I don't say it's going to be super extremely greed, 90, but come on, fear,
neutral,
fear.
Yeah, around 50, 55, yeah.
And as I always say, in Argentina, we say fear and money we never had. So I'm not feared. So I'm all in and I'm super bullish on that. So Marco, thank you very much. Hope next week we can have all the, we can have Andre and we can have Diego as well.
Yeah, I think Andre will be back to your time zone or similar time zone. So I think it will be easier maybe for him to connect. So hopefully we are like 3 or 4. Would be nice to be 4. So
the four horsemen, four horsemen.
Magnificent 4.
Excellent, excellent. So Marco, thank you very much. Have a great Sunday and see you next week.
Yeah, you too, Fernando. Thank you.
And thank you very much to everyone who is on the other side. If you like the episode, please subscribe to our channel, give us a thumbs up, and follow us in our social media. Share this episode with the people you love. Share this episode with the people you hate, because we must reach 8 billion people and onboard them on Bitcoin. See you in the next episode of our podcast. Stay humble, stack sats, and remember,